Man, I used to hate riding the bus as a kid. Now, for context, I was a shy, dweeby little black kid with some big-ass glasses and a bald-ass head. I'm sure you've seen plenty of us growing up. The kind of head you just want to smack and go, ah! So I get it. I was an easy target. You say some shit to me, I probably wasn't going to say shit back to you. I'm a preacher boy, just like Chevy. And my wife must be Pearline. Hello, because I'm trying to lick that.
They call me preacher boy, counting my daddy being a pastor.
My father was a preacher, so the whole turn the other cheek argument was ingrained into me. I wasn't taught how to roast back, how to defend myself. At least that's how it felt growing up and letting motherfuckers walk all over me. Now, as an adult, I can sort of appreciate the turn the other cheek argument. In some ways, it's kept me from saying or doing some things that I'd probably regret. Imagine I'm so prone to anger that the mere hint of disrespect would set me off like a bomb. Now I'm locked up for quadruple homicide and I never get to see my wife and son again. So, thanks, Dad. Thank you for sparing me life in prison. I'm fortunate enough to say that I didn't spend my entire scholastic career riding the bus as my primary form of transport. Very early, and then towards the end of my academic career, I was blessed to be a car rider. Now, I don't know what your school experience was like, but again, for reference, I lived in Louisiana. And I say that to say because Louisiana is ranked pretty poorly in just about everything. But obviously growing up, it was all I knew. And I say that to say our schools were relatively small. When I moved to Texas, I saw elementary schools that were bigger than my high school. I see high schools that looked like the size of my college campus. My mind was blown. The way car riders worked varied depending on the school or the age group, but for the most part, it was the same. Some parents show up about an hour to an hour and a half early before school lets out to get a good spot in line. Those good spots exist because by the time school lets out, there's a line looping around the solar system and 3 neighborhoods down. So the parents would get there hours early to ensure that the second the bell rings, you walk out, you hop in, and y'all pull off. Or your parents get there on time. The line is long as fuck. You wait slowly but surely as the line crawls forward. They get you and y'all head home. Or there's the parent that damn near forgot their kid was at school, that it was their turn to pick them up, or that child even exists.
Who?
The school has to call them to come and get their child, and they're like, what child? Oh, wait, yeah, my fault, I'm on my way. And there's no line whenever they get there because everybody else is home already. If you were that child, I'm sorry. You can come home with me and my mom next time. She got us some Taco Bell, and we can play some Black Ops Zombies whenever you get to my house, okay? All right, welcome to the family. But yeah, car rider line was chill for the most part. You were in front of teachers and shit, so it was a direct school to guardian pipeline. You might have even gotten some snacks or some shit when you got picked up, or even dibs on a radio or a CD or whatever music you listen to. So shout out to my mom. I love you, Mom. You're the best. Thank you for loving me and my friends and giving us a home that people always want to come over to because, quote unquote, we have the best snacks and we always make them feel welcome. So thank you, Mom. I love you. What a queen. However, where there is light and love and fairness and my mother, there is also dramatics for the script aside. Riding the bus used to be kind of cool. It was all sunshine and rainbows and the smiley little hamster thingy with the lollipop and the spitty hat going, yippee! I vaguely remember my mom going through the setup process to find my bus route. I started to ride it in 2nd grade. My mom remarried to my step-goat, Mr. Ivory, around the time, so we moved from our smaller city to a slightly larger city. New town, new school, new faces. I was all nervous, plus I'd be having to ride the bus. I didn't know what to expect. Anticipation and anxiety overtook me. How far is my bus stop going to be? In front of my house? All the way down the street? Are there going to be some other kids there? Will I make any friends? And most importantly, how early do I need to wake up to make sure that I can get to the bus on time? But thankfully, at least for this first year, I wouldn't be alone. Every other week, my step-siblings would either be here with us or with their mom. And when they were here, I'd be able to ride the bus with my older stepbrother. And I knew that at least half of the time, I'd have him there to ride the bus with me, so I didn't have to be all scared about it. But really, back then, I just remember the bus driver saying the funniest thing you can say around 8-year-olds when somebody cuts you off in traffic. Son of a biscuit! We laughed about son of a biscuit for years. For some reason, this adult censoring himself with son of a biscuit was funnier than if he said every swear word in the book. But I remember my primary way to listen to music at that time was listening to the radio when riding the bus or listening to whatever songs they were using in TV or movies. So whenever my bus driver would play Hot 107.9 and Lollipop by Lil Wayne came on, you better believe we were all 10 and under screaming, lit, like a lollipop, lollipop. So really that whole end of the 2000s, beginning of 2010s music was always on the radio. So when I hear some of those songs now, I feel like a kid again, trying not to fall asleep on my way home from school. Back then, handheld consoles were actual handheld consoles that could fit in your pocket. So I also remember that culture of bringing stuff you weren't supposed to on the bus. Whether it was a PSP, a Nintendo DS, a Game Boy, an MP3 player, or if you were fancy, an iPod Touch, there was always at least one kid with some kind of device that would make them a king amongst men. For me, it was the PSP that I snuck to school in my backpack. I'd play on my brother's save file of Need for Speed Carbon because he had a lot more progress on that game than I did, mainly because I just liked to drive around back then. Rest in peace to my PSP. I have no idea where you went or why towards the end of your lifespan, my copy of Need for Speed would always make me glitch through the floor and fail to load any textures. However, fast forward to middle school. Good Lord. I know education is important, but middle school should outright be illegal. There should not be that many hormonal teenagers in one space. We gotta spread this shit out some. And I started 6th grade in 2012, the year after Snapchat came out. The year after Snapchat came out. Kids our age started having unrestricted internet access. Some of them even had an iPhone. I say all that to say the culture of the entire world was shifting before our eyes. With access to the internet, people were exposed to so much more information. People were getting smarter, and now dumber. They were arguing with other idiots online. They were roasting motherfuckers more than ever. They were just getting too creative. I've never heard so many different ways to tell someone to off themselves until I got online. I was like 11 or 12 years old and launched into a Black Ops multiplayer lobby. I now understand why when I played the Xbox at my dad's house, he'd never let me use the mic or hear what people were saying. Shout out to him. Rest in peace, my parental control king. So oddly enough, you'd think that being exposed to that kind of toxic behavior would toughen you up a bit, huh? Because obviously people keep the same energy that they do on the internet, right? So since I could yell at a motherfucker online, I could now yell at a motherfucker in his face right back, right?
Nope.
I was still that dweeby, sweaty loser. So I spent most of middle school riding the bus, hiding a headphone in my jacket sleeve, and pressing my hand against my head, leaning against the window.
How did we get here? I must know you so well.
So in the middle of the 6th grade school year, we moved to a new neighborhood. So some of those previously mentioned anxieties started resurfacing. No brother for backup, just me and a new bus stop. And unlike in elementary school, I wouldn't get picked up right in front of my house anymore. I'd have to walk all the way down the street. The day finally comes, and I start walking, face illuminated by the dimly lit street lights, the wet, dewy grass squeaking under my off-brand shoes that definitely won't become a subject of harassment later. Thankfully, there was some hope at the end of the tunnel. As I started walking, I saw a figure standing where the bus stop was. Oh shit, someone else has this bus stop too, I thought to myself. As I got closer, they started to look vaguely familiar. And it was not only somebody in my grade, but someone in the same class as me. We hadn't really talked much up to that point, but even having just one person whose name I knew was exciting. So we start chopping it up at the bus stop, and we decide to sit together. Now, bus rides in the morning are different from bus rides in the afternoon. In the morning, it's pretty much an unspoken rule to shut the fuck up, listen to the radio, and maybe take a nap on the way to school because everybody's up early as fuck. Most are either full from breakfast, hungry from no breakfast, or stuck in limbo because it's too early to eat breakfast. But naturally, I was a bit excited to make a new friend, so we were yapping it up at a respectful volume, like Animal Crossing villagers in the back of the bus.
When all of a sudden,
And then I hear this agitating, annoying voice. Yo, can you shut the fuck up? Alright, I'ma head out. That shit was embarrassing, bro. Straight bitch. That's 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun ain't even come up yet, and the happiness was already stripped from me. What the fuck? I didn't even know what to say. So I didn't say nothing. I just shut the fuck up like a good little boy with my tail tucked between my legs. I didn't want to talk in the morning for weeks after that. We talk at the bus stop. Maybe if you pulled up to school early and everybody else was starting to wake up and chat themselves a bit. But I'd be damned if I got called out and laughed at again like that, bro. Everybody was laughing. You know those stories when people would be like, And everybody clapped. And you're like, yeah, sure, that happened. Motherfucker, everybody laughed, and that did happen. So I decided to just blend into the background best I could and keep to myself. But then again, you're better off just putting a bullseye on your forehead and a note on your back that says, come fuck with me. I remember one time, I had a brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart on my back. And my back, big back, big back. I remember one time, I had a brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart in my backpack. Because, of course I would. Who wouldn't? It's the best flavor. And I saved it all day until I finally got hungry on the bus ride home. I get on the bus relatively early, grab me a seat near the back, put the backpack in my lap, and I start to get the Pop-Tart out of my backpack as people are filling into the bus. I start to unwrap it as a reaches into my seat, rips the Pop-Tart out of my hand, and proceeds to say, you beat, and walked away with my Pop-Tart. Now, all that turn the other cheek shit was about to fly out the window, alongside with the nigga who stole my Pop-Tart. However, I'm still a little bitch. And this nigga had like 3 brothers riding the bus with him. So if I fuck with him, I'm most definitely getting jumped when I get off the bus. So I let that nigga have it. And I just adapted. No more food on the bus. Don't take shit out that you want to make it home with. Y'all ever spend the night at a friend's house and have to ride their bus? Sometimes it'd be no note, no heads up, just vibes and prayers. Please let me on the bus, Mr. Bus Driver. I swear I go to this school. Or even worse, if you try to go home with your friend on the bus from school, if you don't have a note, good luck, Charlie. Or how about whenever you would have a field trip at school and the teachers would give everybody a chance to just talk normally on the bus. But then as the ride progresses, everybody gets caught up in their own conversation, the volume starts to rise, and the bus driver starts getting pissed because they can't focus with all the random bullshit they're hearing behind them. And then a teacher would stand up and say, all right, that's enough. No more talking until we get to the zoo. If I catch you talking, I'll throw you in the monkey pit. Or something like that, which has got to be racist looking back on it. I used to love trying to get some sleep when I was riding the bus. My favorite was either the head leaning forward on the next seat in front of you, a hunched over position with your backpack in your lap and your head resting on your backpack, or just the head full back resting against your seat. Because if your head was leaning against the window, be prepared to recreate a solo from Drumline with the window as the drum and your head as the sticks. Because you'll be making beats like Dre in no time. That's your head bouncing off that window. And like I said earlier, I used to love playing games on the way home too. My PSP, of course, but later on, out of fear of that being stolen, I just used my shitty old Android phone. They used to have some fire games on the App Store, like this zombie highway game that always felt appropriate to be playing on the bus. And this is before having data for real, so I could only play whatever I downloaded from the Wi-Fi at home. I also remember this time I was in like 7th or 8th grade, and the 6th grade girl just kept pinching and poking the fuck out of me. Like, really fucking hard. Like, she was trying to peel my skin off like she was prepping a potato for cooking or some shit. And I kept saying very loudly, stop, leave me alone, and trying to ask for help. Like, bro, somebody get this bitch off me. And obviously, I'm not trying to put my hands on this younger, white-looking girl as an older, very much so black boy. Obviously, I'm not trying to put my hands on no girl, period, but I'm just pointing how bad it looks, you know. Y'all know that. Y'all know how I look. Black man, white girl, fuck no, baby. Anyway, she keeps doing it the entire bus ride, and so I had enough of it, and I shoved her ass as hard as I could out the seat. I didn't hit her. I just pushed her away from me to protect myself. And then, of course, she goes full victim mode, crying, and now people want to turn around and see what the fuck's going on back here. See what I'm saying about how when a white person starts? Anyways, people hated me for a bit, and they kept calling me a girl beater. So, fuck me, I guess. Then there was this other girl who was in my grade. She was a pretty young lady who held the attention of just about all the other boys on the bus. She had a younger sister who would do the same shit as the other little girl I was talking about. And instead of pinches and pokes, this bitch was throwing fists. I shit you not, bro. I'm literally just looking out the window when she starts slapping the shit out of me. I'm like, what the actual fuck is going on right now? And after that previous fiasco and being known as a girl hitter and all this shit, I felt like all I could do was eat the licks until eventually, thank God, the older one pulled the pit bull of a sister off of me. So at least there was that. But let's be real. If the older sister didn't give a fuck, who knows what would have happened? Because the way I see it, I would have retaliated in some way. The older sister would have got upset, which would have made all the other boys upset, including those brothers who would have whooped my ass at the bus stop. So thank God for her stopping that shit. Y'all ever remember getting on a bus that's hot as fuck, getting to your seat, starting to put the window down, then the bus driver's like, man, don't you put my window down? I'd just be like, why? Why must you make us suffer in this hot-ass box? And when they said to put the window back up, I felt like Berleezy, because it's hot as hell in this funky ass, hot ass room I'm in.
Is that the Grim Reaper?